Hello, welcome back to this edition of Math with Sensei Brian. I'm Sensei Brian M., your math teacher, your math coach, your math host, your math partner, whatever you need me to be, as long as it pertains to math. Let's get that right. Okay, sorry it took so long. As we know, we're still in the pandemic here in March 2021. Still got a lot of things going on. All I say is be safe, be strong, pray for one another. Anyway, let's get into this edition because this is a very relevant edition. And I think we really need to pay attention this time because, you need to pay attention every time. But inequalities is definitely a fact of life, okay? So, by definition, an inequality is a relation, mathematical of course, which makes a non-equal comparison between two numbers or mathematical expressions. It's pretty long-winded. Let's do it again. A relation which makes a non-equal comparison between two numbers or mathematical expressions. Whew, it's pretty long-winded. So, what does that mean? Well, let's look at something that we know is a fact. We know that 10 equals 10 all day, all night long, okay? That's an equation. We also know, if we want to go into a little bit further, that 6 plus 4 is 10. Same thing, we kind of know that just by, memory. What happens if I take and change one of these numbers, right? Let's try this. 6 plus 5, does that equal 10? Oh no, I don't think so. 6 plus 5 is 11. So definitely that is not equal. Hence our first sign we're going to look at, not equal to. 6 plus 5 is definitely not equal to 10. Let's get into that, please. As we can see, 11, which was 6 plus 5, definitely does not equal 10. And if you don't believe me, let's make it plain and simple. I got $11, you got 10. You $1 short, partner. That's right. So, let me ask you this. By saying that you're $1 short, because I got more money, you're $1 short, how would we write that? Not equal to is fine, but there's a better thing, a better symbol we can use to express that. And an expression, a mathematical expression. That's where it comes in. Which one do we use? Well, if 11 is it bigger or smaller? We all already know because we've already said that 11 is greater than 10. That's where this symbol comes in. Okay, 11 is bigger or greater than 10. Greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and just plain out not equal at all. Okay, so 11 is definitely greater than 10. So, geez, Sensei, I might get those arrows confused. Well, how can I fix that? Make it so that I don't make that mistake. Good question. I'm glad you asked that. Because way back in well, you don't need to know the year, but all you say is 19. I'll let you know how long ago. Way back in 19-something, when I was learning this, there is a simple way that you can tell. In the United States, English-speaking, Spanish-speaking, Germanic-speaking, Romantic-speaking countries, we tend to read from left to right. Left to right. Therefore, our comparisons are made from left to right. Left to right. Is 15 bigger than 21 or smaller? I say you're short. Think of it as dollars. Therefore, your symbol will go this way. Is 22 bigger or smaller? If I got 22 and you got 12 and it's money, you short once again. Therefore, my number is bigger. Well, to answer how you know which way that arrow points is this. The arrow points to the smaller number. Every time. Every time. The arrow points to the smaller number in relation to sides. This side is smaller than that one. The arrow points this way. Reading left to right. 15 is less than 21. Reading from left to right again, that arrow is pointing to the smaller number. 22 is greater than 12. right? The open end of the speaker points to the bigger number, or the arrow points to the smaller number. Let me ask a question. I ain't going to be able to see, but virtually raise your hands for how many musicians we got in the house, right? If you're a musician like I am, and I'm a musician, you'll see these symbols on your sheet of music. Decrescendo, crescendo. From left to right, correct? We still read music from left to right. The music on this side, as you play, they want you to decrease the volume, or decrescendo, decrease. Bigger end, smaller end, still relation left to right. Well, all of a sudden you want the music to get louder. Turn up the volume. So from left to right, the smaller end is here, the greater end is here, right? So we can always write this in terms like this. If we wanted to, x is greater than y is greater than x. You want to slim down, you want to increase, okay? This is greater than, this is less than. Even in music, we use mathematical symbols. Isn't that something? For those of you that didn't know, now you know. Let's give you another example. Okay, 3 times 7 is greater than 25 plus x. 3 times 7 is greater than 25 minus x. Let's work this out. Here we go. I'm going to combine this and save a step. So that's 21. We want to get the variable by itself, right? What you do to one side, you do to the other. You treat this just like you would a normal equation, a normal mathematical problem. You do it exactly the same, okay? 21 minus 25 is negative 4. See you later. And here's your x, right? Or positive x. Remember, you don't have to put the positive sign in front of it. So let's do this side. Do the same thing. This is a negative number. For those of you that know, I can hear you grumbling and groaning. Ooh, sensei, let me get to you. We got to get to that point. I'm going to get to you. Give me a second. Here we go. If I have my number line, well, of course, this being 0, this being positive, this being negative. This being negative 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's do this side. Before I really even go into it, you're going to see a problem. What is negative x? Where do you put negative x on this? You can't do that. You can't have a negative variable as a final answer. You can't put that on the number line. So, how we resolve this? Change the signs, change the symbol. That's one reason why you cannot have a negative variable as a final answer. How do you chart a negative variable? Variables, you can have a negative variable, but not as a final answer. Change the signs, flip the symbol. So now you would be here. Well, G Sensei, why do you have an open circle instead of a closed one? Because 4 is not inclusive. That's why. If this was this, or equal to, now you fill that in because 4 is included. Negative 4 is less than or equal to x. Now that's included. Negative 4 is greater than or equal to x. Now that's included. Make sense? So, open circle equals not included. Or in mathematicals, you say not inclusive. Ooh. I-N-C, that's an L. Don't get confused. My spelling is not atrocious. I just don't write so good. So as we see, open circle not inclusive, closed circle, or dot if you want to call it that, is inclusive. Okay? I hope you're catching this. This is not as hard as it seems. You treat an inequality expression the same way as you treat an equal expression. You do the exact same things, and when you get to the end, you'll see why. It's either equal, unequal, or not equal than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, whatever these symbols may denote. Watch this. Watch this. 30 plus 5 is greater than or equal to 44 minus 9. Well, 30 plus 5 is 35, and this is 35. Is this a true statement? Doesn't have to be that big. Yes, it is, because of this sign here. Or equal to. Or equal to. I could flip this around and turn it the other way and it would still be the same because it is inclusive. Now, what exactly does all this mean in real life terms, Sensei? You said in the beginning of the video this has something to do with real life. You haven't shown me that yet, sir. I'm about to right now. Let's use this cart here. It's just a cart, right? And let's say the cart weighs 200 pounds. We're not going to factor in inertia when it comes to moving this cart. That's getting into physics, but even though this is physics, it has something to do with it. Now, we know if this cart is 200 pounds, to even get this cart to move internally, because it's going to push against you if you push it, right? You have to either equal or overcome the force to even get it to move at all. So to get it to even just shake on the inside, to get it to really move to where it's going to move somewhere, it may move back and forth on you. You have to have 200 pounds or more, right, to get it to move. So to get this thing to move, you have to have 200 pounds or more. This is, X represents the weight of it. So to get this thing to move, X could be 200. So to get this thing to move, you have to have at least 200 pounds or greater force to get that thing to move at all, to push it forward. That's actually Newton's second law of inertia, for those of you that are into physics. To get it to move at all, just to get it to, and I stress that because I want you to understand that. It's going to take at least 200 pounds of force to get the internal forces moving, and 200 point whatever, or 201, 300, 400, 500. So this has to be equal than or greater than or equal to 200 pounds of force. Okay, that's the first example. 200 is greater than or equal to X. This, my friends, is a cup of Kool-Aid. 32 ounces in the United States is 1 quart. Okay? The maximum capacity of this is 32 ounces or 1 quart, whether it's water, whether it's Kool-Aid, whether it's coffee, whether it's soda. Excuse my phone. Don't worry about it. Nonetheless, if you go over this, right, this right here is the maximum amount. If you go over that, oh my Lord, it's going to get every which way. And if you live in your mama house like I lived in my mama house as a kid, Lord have mercy, you got water all over the floor, you got Kool-Aid on my carpet. Child, where's my bed? Yes, yes, yes. In other words, if this was 32 ounces, this is the maximum I can go. If I go over this, you'll see I'll spill on it everywhere. So you would want to say, you do not want to exceed 32 ounces. X is less than 32 ounces, or equal to. This is equal to, this is less. You can say 32, 22, 12, 2, whatever, right? You don't want to go over that, otherwise you get into a world of problems. Where am I at? 1502? Okay. I can give you another example. And I think for those of us that are adultile, or those of us that, want to get into C, Tachometer. Tachometer. Or for those of us, an RPM meter in a car. So if X equals 1,000 RPMs, oops, okay, 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x. Now I'm going to change the colors on you, y'all. Okay. Ooh-wee. Your car will idle, meaning it's just going to sit there and just shake and bake and rumble, kind of like a lawnmower. It's just going to idle somewhere in here. And as you go through gears, it's going to go up and come back down, go up and come back down. But when you get to your top gear and you reach about 6,000 RPMs, this is the maximum you can reach without going over into what we call redlining. Redlining means the ability of your engine to cool down is smaller than the ability of it to heat up. In other words, you can't cool it down faster than it's going to heat up. Once your engine heats up, Lord have mercy, what problems do you have? Water pump problems, radiator problems, hoses problems, head gasket problems, rod problem. Anything can go wrong. Problems equal money. You don't want that. So to make sure you do not redline, you say X maximum you're going to get. Why do I keep wanting to say RMP? Shame on me. Right? X is less than or equal to 6,000 RPM. No, you do not want to go over that. You do not want to go over that. So the maximum you're going to get, right? Once you go over that, you redline. That's not good, y'all. You want to keep it under there. If we'd have wrote that the other way, you could say 6,000 RPM is great. In other words, once you reach that, anything over that, you're going to, it's basically you're going to overheat, and you don't want to overheat. I'm going to give you one last example, and then we're going to call it a day on this video. Make that look better. Okay, 5x plus 7 is less than or equal to 7x minus 8. These are like terms. 5x, 7x are like terms, okay, because they have the x. I'm going to save some steps. Remember, what you do to one side, you do to the other, right? Goodbye, goodbye. You have 15 is less than or equal to 2x. We could leave that as it is. No. You have to break this down. Okay? There you go. See how this works? You get rid of the like terms, right? You subtract here, you add here, you add here. So 15 is less than or equal to 2x divided by 2, because we want to get this by itself. Well, however you write this, 7.5 or 7.5 is less than or equal to x. If you put that on a number line, I'm going to go 5, 10, 15. 5, 10, 15. 7.5 is going to be somewhere right in here because it's, because of this, it's inclusive. It's less than or equal to x. X is here above. This is less than that point or equal to that point. That's why we fill in that dot. Yes, inequalities are amazing. You're going to see them a lot in math because it's going to do with real comparison. Well, they all deal with comparisons, but this is a little bit more realistic when it comes to comparison because chances are things are not always equal. In fact, in most cases, things aren't equal because no two things are exactly alike. You can have quantities that are alike, but no two objects are exactly alike. They're unequal. So you'll get into inequalities. As always, I'll close this video. Thank you. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate it. I really do. In time, I will start giving private lessons. So give me a little bit more videos to do once I'm done with my series. If you need help, I'll have a way for you to contact me and I'll give you private lessons. You know, you can Patreon me if you like. I appreciate you watching me because you can learn this from anybody else, but you choose to spend your time with me. So that's giving me your time. Hate and discourse are broken by giving. You can give without loving, but you cannot love without giving. I'll repeat that. You can give without loving, but you can't love without giving. I'm giving this to you. You need this. I need this. We all need this. Let's love one another. Be kind to one another. Remember, all it takes is one single act of kindness, and it could change somebody's life forever. God bless you, and thank you for being here with me today. I'll see you next time. As always, peace.